Hello, Cybernet's back with me, Lucy Longhurst. Get ready to pump up your muscles, become friendly with a giant, battle with some soft toys, and check out the latest from Japan. It's Cybernet. We begin this week's show with an exclusive review as Cybernet unveils the finished version of what is destined to become one of the greatest driving games of all time, Gran Turismo 2 on the PlayStation. The original stunned the video game world with its blend of highly convincing handling and jaw-dropping replays. The sequel delivers all of this and much more besides. There's an incredible 500 vehicles to uncover for the dedicated driver, with models ranging from second-hand Mini Coopers to top-of-the-line BMWs. Raising the funds to obtain such automotive treasures, however, requires some expert racing skills, and as you upgrade your vehicle, the competition becomes even tougher. For the newcomer, there are comprehensive training exercises which earn players the different licenses needed to race. Gran Turismo veterans will be happy to hear that any licenses earned in the original game can be loaded into the sequel, allowing immediate access to some of the tougher competitions. Before, you can jump straight into the action in arcade mode. Here you can test your rallying skills or challenge a friend to a high-speed duel. However, it's only by mastering the epic GT mode that you'll be able to unlock all of the game's secrets. Admittedly, Gran Turismo 2 will not be to everyone's taste. The realistic handling of the vehicles, together with the perseverance needed to progress, may frustrate some gamers. However, as an accurate simulation of driving, this is way ahead of the competition. Gran Turismo 2 is simply the best, most complete racing game on the PlayStation. The best games from around the world now with the Cybernet chart. Bursting into the top 10 and one of the few Game Boy games ever to do so, it's Pokemon Blue. In at number 9, Europe's our setting for the explosive conflict of Medal of Honor. Blasting their way up the chart, the incredible stadiums of Quake 3 Arena are at 8. Entering our chart a little lower than expected in 7th is the most popular ape of all time in Donkey Kong 64. Still hurtling through the streets of San Francisco, it's Driver, staying put at number 6. The updated version of Championship Manager moves back up the table into 5th place. And driving like a maniac in 4th, Bandicoot's leaving the memories of Mario Kart 64 behind in Crash Team Racing. Down to number 3, Lara's trying to keep in the race in Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation. And up one place to number 2, James Bond is on Her Majesty's Secret Service in Tomorrow Never Dies. But still at the top, FIFA 2000 is this week's acrobatic number 1. After a successful first appearance on the N64 and then the PC, Glover has finally made its way onto the PlayStation. In this highly original game, you must control a magical glove and strategically push a stripy ball from one end of a level to the other. There's a host of obstacles blocking your path, from pools of water to large dolphins. To get past them, you can change your sphere into different types, from a fragile crystal ball to a heavy magnetic ball bearing. So, for example, if you need to collect some tokens at the bottom of a lake, just change your ball into a heavy one. It'll sink straight to the bottom and roll across. Unfortunately, Glover doesn't satisfy, mainly because of its jerky, pixelated graphics and repetitive gameplay. Still, if you're looking for something slightly original, you can't get much better than a happy walking glove. If you like your games to have a bit more firepower, you may want to wait for Nerf ArenaBlast. As a kind of kiddie Quake clone, you'll have to run around various arenas shooting toy guns filled with spongy bullets. There'll be 3 different types of challenge, including the main game, Point Blast, where you must shoot at various opponents, and Ball Blast, which features several Nerf balls which must be shot into targets. Whilst none of this sounds particularly original or interesting, Nerf ArenaBlast is surprisingly brilliant fun. Although still incomplete, the designers have obviously tried to make it as much fun as possible. The levels are packed full of features like water obstacles, bouncing tiles and slides. Your opponents have just enough artificial intelligence to give you a real challenge, and you'll even be able to play over the internet. Unlike so many games aimed at younger players, Nerf ArenaBlast should appeal to older gamers as well. And if the finished title has enough depth, it could become a surprise hit. Who lives in a house like this?
Welcome to the Blue House.
I'm the small mouse.
Things to do.
Fun for you.
Howdy from the...
This is home to Bear and his friends, who'll offer you the chance to partake in puzzles and games with Bear's Sense of Adventure, a brand new PC CD-ROM.
Our house. Catch the moon at our house.
This title aims to teach children about the 5 senses: sight, sound, smell, touch and taste.
My clock tells me the time, and it's almost snack time.
Exploring the Hungry Bear's house will reveal many interesting facts about the senses. You can also collect items which will be of use later in the game. The creatures in Bear's Sense of Adventure have been made by Jim Henson's Creature Workshop, who also made the Muppets. So, as you'd expect, the characters are very funny.
I'm coming to get you.
The puzzles are also fun and original, which should add to the title's longevity. Bear's Sense of Adventure is a lively and entertaining title. An enormous amount of effort has obviously gone into the game, and it shows. The lovable characters ooze personality and are very likeable, plus the scenery is packed full of treats to discover. Bears may not be the greatest singers in the world, but this is one tuneful teddy. Take it away, Bear.
You've got 5 senses and one big world to hear and smell and feel and taste and see. Whoa, to hear and smell and feel and taste and see.
Bored with life? Got too much spare time on your hands and nothing to keep you amused? Don't get upset, because the Japanese are here, and gamers have never had it so good, thanks to an explosion in new portable technology. Currently, there are 3 handheld machines dominating the games world, with even more peripherals poised and ready to fly into shops around the world. The funky Neo Geo Pocket is top of most people's most wanted list, mainly due to the fact that it comes in a cool range of styles and colours. It has a host of great arcade games too, and a brilliant version of the arcade classic, Pac-Man. The colour Game Boy surprised everyone with a collection of amazing peripherals, like the Game Boy camera that lets you capture your own video images, adapt them with special software, and print out your creations with a mini printer. And there's a new 32-bit version, the Game Boy Advanced, being produced this year. But the Wonder Swan is the biggest gadget to rock the handheld world. The new machine has better graphics, gorgeous styling, and a high-quality screen to make playing games on the move a lot easier. So what about the future? Well, there's going to be an explosion of portable peripherals and gadgets this year. Neo Geo are teaming up with the Dreamcast so that players can download information from the console. They'll then be able to design their own fighters, change stats which will improve their favourite hero's performance, and then upload them back onto the console. One plan is for a game that'll actually let you breed monsters on your handheld, which can be inserted onto the Dreamcast system as fully interactive pets. Back at WonderSwan, they've got plans to dominate the handheld internet market with the WonderGate, a device that connects you to the net via a mobile phone to receive and send email and peruse websites. But the company's main technological advancement is the Wonderborg, a kit that lets you create an articulated robot and develop artificially intelligent software for it on your handheld. Users can then download their latest data from their WonderSwan whenever they like, thus creating a constantly evolving cyber pet. So there's plenty to look out for and plenty to get excited about. Just stay in your seat and don't go away. Keep watching Cybernet. Welcome back to part 2 of Cybernet. For all of you who enjoyed the button-bashing sports classic Track and Field 2000 is the sequel you've been waiting for. With loads of new events, an updated graphics engine and improved gameplay, it'll certainly appeal to every armchair athlete. After visiting Japan and chatting to the game's director, we discovered that aside from more usual sports, the sequel would feature several non-track and field events. And although sports such as canoeing and the vault were certainly different, they all played extremely well. But what event did the director like best?
My favourite event has to be the weightlifting, mainly because you have to do more than just quickly press buttons. Because it's set over 2 stages, a lot of timing is necessary. Also, I love the way the weightlifter's muscles get bigger as they pick up the barbell.
But whilst many events are great fun, some can be downright annoying. The pole vault, for example, is just too tricky, and the 1 kilometre cycle race will almost certainly give your fingers blisters. But if you can cope with these odd problems, Track and Field 2000 is a great way to outperform your friends without incurring any serious injuries. Time for another sequel now with Interstate 82 for the PC. As any fan of the original game will know, you have to drive around in some rather chunky cars, blasting and racing your way through various levels. Unfortunately, unlike the fabulously fun original, this game is about as funky as changing a tyre. Although there have been a few additions to the gameplay, they don't seem to have made the game any better. For instance, you can now get out of your car to try to stop enemy vehicles whilst on foot. This may sound like fun, but imagine running around with a pistol trying to stop a speeding armoured car that has a machine gun. As tactics go, we definitely wouldn't recommend it. With dull graphics and poorly designed levels, Interstate 82 is a disappointing game. Still, if you prefer early 80s music and hate 70s disco, you may find this an engaging alternative to Driver. Who's the most famous female video game character ever? Lara Croft, of course, but now she has a challenger. Her name is Officer Darcy Stern, and she's the star of Urban Chaos. Darcy's swapped caves and spikes for city streets and bad guys in an attempt to make Urban Chaos the Tomb Raider of the new millennium. But has she succeeded? The game contains some violence and bad language that's not appropriate for young players. It's not all about fighting though, and much time is spent exploring grim surroundings looking for clues to get you through. Darcy is just as responsive as Lara, and you'll need all her abilities to complete tasks and rescue some bizarre individuals.
But I want to be a fireman!
Strange. The level design in this game is excellent and will keep you busy by providing plenty of cars to drive and rooftop obstacles to negotiate. Darcy Stern is one tough cop, and Urban Chaos is certainly one tough game. But the difficulty of some levels doesn't ruin an atmospheric and enjoyable action-adventure. Watch out, Lara, your time is almost up. If you're thirsting to see more combat, then you could join Hawk Manson as he smashes his way through Fighting Force 2 on the Dreamcast. Unfortunately, this title is extremely slow and very dull. The basic gameplay idea consists of hitting everything that moves and destroying almost every object on every level. While this may sound great for letting out some frustration, you'll become bored very quickly. As your interest wanes, you'll start to notice other glaring faults, the most outrageous being the useless artificial intelligence of the enemy robots. Their reactions and fight moves are excruciatingly slow and don't help the game at all. This makes the huge levels unchallenging and not very satisfying to complete. The game tries its best to keep you entertained, but the obstacles you encounter aren't particularly difficult to overcome. As an arcade action title, Fighting Force 2 succeeds for only a limited time. After that, you're left wondering why you bothered. Sorry. Welcome to the world of Black and White. As it's one of the most eagerly awaited games of this year, we thought we'd show you a few reasons why this title is expected to revolutionize the games world. Nurturing one of 3 Tamagotchi-style creatures, you must negotiate events and decisions in the fantasy world around you. We persuaded the brains behind the idea to tell us why this gaming experience will be so unique.
This creature ends up an embodiment of you, a reflection of you. Because everything in the black and white world changes and morphs to reflect what you're like as a games player.
Developing your animal's personality and casting some powerful spells are not the only features in the game that'll impress you. For example, you can listen to a music CD while playing, and this will actually affect your creature's behaviour.
If you're nice to him while you're playing that music, he'll really like it. And after a while, he'll learn to dance in perfect time to the music playing on the CD. If you're nasty to him, he'll hate the CD. He'll actually cover his ears. He will hate it because the memories of it will be so bad. He has actually got a memory.
For its sheer originality alone, we can't wait to grab a copy of Black and White. But wait, which copy will we get? The finished game will come in 2 boxes, one black, representing bad, and one white, representing good. Which one will you choose? And that's not all. In direct competition with Black and White are the lovely Delphi from Giants. They're one of 3 species in this visually stunning game. Along with the menacing Kabuto and the agile Mecharins, you can control one of these breeds in one of the most unusual action games we've seen. What developers Planet Moon hope to offer us is not only an original mix of both combat and adventure, but graphics that'll leave you gasping in amazement. The firepower and magic that your chosen species can use should be one of the highlights of Giants. Take a look at this awesome tornado that the Delphi can conjure. As we enter the new millennium, next-generation consoles and PCs look to be producing games unlike anything we've ever seen or experienced before. Stick with Cybernet, as we'll have all the latest news and gossip on these titles and many more. We may have come to the end of this show, but Cybernet will be back with even more fantastic games and features very soon. Don't forget to give our competition a try. Until next time, here's another chance to see some more incredible scenes from Gran Turismo 2. Keep watching the exclusives, keep watching Cybernet.